us a message of humility. The second one is they want to bring people together.
I think people are seeking unity in the country, that there isn't much of an appetite for division.
When members of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party turn on each other in Parliament, it sends shockwaves through the political landscape. And that's exactly what happened during a dramatic House of Commons session, one that Canadians won't soon forget. The spark? A motion introduced by Liberal MP Sukh Dhaliwal to recognize the 1984 Anti-Sikh riots in India as genocide. What started as a routine attempt to secure unanimous consent quickly devolved into an explosive confrontation. Liberal MP Chandra Arya vehemently opposed the motion, not only shutting it down, but later accusing Dhaliwal of making threats. This incident comes at a critical time for Trudeau's Liberals, already navigating strained diplomatic relations with India, heightened tensions between Sikh and Hindu communities in Canada, and a growing perception of a party struggling to maintain cohesion. What does this clash mean for the Liberal Party's future? Is Trudeau losing control of his own MPs? And how will this affect Canada's political and diplomatic standing?
Here's the problem with the leader of the opposition. He is in love with the sound of his own voice and his own attack.
Today, we'll break down the dramatic events in the House, the broader implications for Trudeau's leadership, and what it all means for Canadians. The motion that sparked the debate. The 1984 anti-Sikh riots in India remain one of the most painful and controversial chapters in modern history. Sparked by the assassination of then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi by her Sikh bodyguards, the riots led to widespread violence, with thousands of Sikhs killed in what many have called a state-supported massacre. The Indian government, however, has consistently resisted labeling the events as genocide, estimating a death toll of around 2,800, though independent groups claim the number was much higher. In Canada, where a significant Sikh diaspora resides, this issue continues to evoke strong emotions. For years, calls to formally recognize the riots as genocide have been met with resistance, both in India and among certain groups in Canada. The motion brought forward by Sukh Dhaliwal was an attempt to address this historical injustice. It sought unanimous consent from Parliament to condemn the riots and acknowledge them as genocide, a designation with profound symbolic and political implications. But the motion also touched on deep divisions within Canada's diverse communities, particularly between Sikhs and Hindus. These tensions have been exacerbated by recent incidents of violence and rhetoric surrounding Khalistani separatism, further complicating an already delicate topic. For the Liberal Party, this was a political minefield. Supporting the motion risked alienating Hindu Canadians and further straining diplomatic ties with India. Opposing it, however, could alienate Sikh Canadians and be perceived as dismissive of their pain. It was within this charged atmosphere that the House of Commons session took an unexpected turn. The clash in the House. The tension in the House of Commons was palpable as Sukh Dhaliwal stood to introduce his motion. Representing Surrey Newton, a riding with a significant Sikh population, Dhaliwal sought to recognize the 1984 anti-Sikh riots in India as genocide. He began with a measured tone, expressing the need for Parliament to acknowledge the atrocities and show solidarity with the victims. But Dhaliwal's appeal for unanimous consent was immediately interrupted. Before he could even finish reading the motion, a chorus of "no" echoed through the chamber. Leading the opposition was Chandra Arya, a Liberal MP representing Nepean in Ontario. Arya's loud dissent shut down the motion, leaving Dhaliwal visibly frustrated. The drama didn't end there. Shortly after the motion was blocked, Arya rose on a point of order with an alarming accusation. He claimed that Dhaliwal had threatened him on his way out of the chamber, saying he would be tied up. Arya also alleged that another unnamed MP had aggressively confronted him in the lobby. As a member of Parliament, I should be able to express my views freely without feeling threatened by my colleagues, Arya stated firmly. These allegations turned what could have been a simple disagreement into a full-blown political crisis. The Speaker acknowledged Arya's concerns, urging calm, but the damage had already been done. The Liberal caucus appeared fractured. with MPs openly clashing over an issue fraught with historical, cultural, and political sensitivities. Social media quickly became an extension of the parliamentary battlefield. Arya took to X, formerly Twitter, calling on Hindu Canadians to oppose similar motions in the future. "There is no guarantee I will be in the House to block it next time," he wrote, signaling his resolve to continue fighting such efforts. Dhaliwal, for his part, expressed disappointment with the lack of support from his colleagues, accusing some of playing divisive politics. The incident laid bare the underlying tensions within the Liberal Party. What should have been a united front turned into a spectacle of disunity. The clash revealed deep fault lines, not only between MPs but also within the diverse communities they represent. This was no longer just a debate about emotion. It was a moment that exposed the fragility of party cohesion in the face of contentious issues. Social media and public reaction. As the parliamentary session unfolded, the fallout extended far beyond the walls of the House of Commons. Social media platforms were flooded with reactions, with both Arya and Dhaliwal drawing intense scrutiny. Arya's post, urging Hindu Canadians to mobilize against similar motions, ignited a firestorm of debate. Supporters praised him for standing firm, while critics accused him of inflaming communal tensions. Dhaliwal, meanwhile, took to X to condemn the lack of solidarity within his party. He pointed out that even some conservative MPs had supported his motion, making the opposition from a fellow Liberal all the more disheartening. His post sparked discussions about whether the Liberal Party could maintain its claim as a champion of diversity when it seemed so divided on this issue. The public response mirrored the divisions in Parliament. Sikh Canadian advocacy groups expressed frustration, seeing Arya's opposition as dismissive of their historical grievances. Hindu Canadian organizations, on the other hand, praised his stance, viewing it as a necessary pushback against what they perceived as one-sided narratives, party unity, and diplomatic fallout. The clash in the House of Commons and its aftermath revealed deeper issues within the Liberal Party and Canadian politics as a whole. For a government often praised for its diversity and inclusivity, the open confrontation between MPs Sukh Dhaliwal and Chandra Arya raised uncomfortable questions about the party's ability to maintain unity amidst competing interests. At its core, the conflict exposed the difficulty of navigating sensitive cultural and historical topics within a multicultural society. The Liberal Party's broad coalition includes representatives of various ethnic and religious communities, each with its own priorities and grievances. While this diversity is a strength, it also poses challenges when these priorities come into conflict, as they did during the debate over the 1984 Riots motion. Beyond the party, the incident also shone a spotlight on Canada's increasingly strained relationship with India. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's accusations of Indian interference in Canadian affairs, coupled with rising tensions between Sikh and Hindu communities, have put the government in a precarious position. Arya's opposition to the motion and his subsequent public statements aligned with the Indian government's stance, further complicating Trudeau's efforts to maintain a balanced diplomatic approach. The broader implications extend beyond the Liberal Party. Opposition parties, particularly the Conservatives, have seized on the discord to criticize the Liberals as divided and ineffective. Meanwhile, Canadians are left questioning whether their leaders can rise above internal squabbles to address the issues that matter most. What this means for Trudeau's leadership. For Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the clash between Sukh Dhaliwal and Chandra Arya is more than just a public relations headache. It's a potential challenge to his leadership. As leader of a party that prides itself on inclusivity, Trudeau now faces the daunting task of repairing the fractures within his caucus while maintaining the party's image as a unified force. This incident has raised questions about Trudeau's ability to manage internal dissent. If MPs within his own party can't find common ground on key issues, how can Canadians trust the Liberals to address the broader challenges facing the country? The clash also risks alienating important voter blocs, with Sikh and Hindu Canadians likely feeling the fallout from their leaders' public disputes. As the Liberals prepare for the next election cycle, this clash serves as a warning sign. If Trudeau cannot restore order within his party and rebuild trust among Canadians, The cracks revealed in this debate could widen into a significant political liability. What do you think? Is the Liberal Party's diversity its greatest strength or its Achilles heel? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more in-depth coverage of Canada's most pressing political stories.